Hello and welcome back. Pour cette vidéo, je vais vous proposer de vous donner un exemple de ce qu'on attend de vous en colle et donc à l'oral des concours. J'ai pris un texte d'Annal, un texte audio évidemment, concernant un sujet qu'on va traiter en début d'année qui est le travail. Et j'ai écouté ce texte 3 fois. J'ai pris des notes, comme vous l'auriez fait pendant votre colle, et je vais vous donner un exemple de présentation qui va aller, comme je vous le disais, donc de l'introduction jusqu'à la synthèse, transition entre la synthèse-commentaire, le commentaire et la conclusion. Je vous rappelle que vous avez pour la préparation normalement 20 minutes, et pour la présentation 20 minutes également. On pense généralement qu'il y a à peu près 10 minutes pour votre présentation à vous, c'est-à-dire introduction, synthèse, commentaire, conclusion, et 10 minutes d'échange avec l'examinateur. Ça peut être 15-5 aussi, mais ça ne dépassera pas généralement les 20 minutes. En colle, cela dit, vous êtes 3 à passer en 1 heure. Donc le temps va être réduit, vous avez 20 minutes de préparation également, mais le temps de passage sera un peu réduit, donc veillez à réduire d'autant le commentaire notamment, sans faire non plus juste 2 phrases, mais veillez à ne pas trop vous étendre sur le commentaire, de même que sur la synthèse. You ready? Okay, I'll remind you that the text I'm working on is the text entitled Home and Work. You'll find the MP3 version of the text on our website. Okay, let's begin. With the rise of modern technology, people can now communicate very easily from everywhere. However, does this progress only bring advantages? This article, published recently in a British newspaper, deals with the shrinking boundary between professional and personal lives. First of all, the journalist speaks in the first person, and she gives a very personal account and a very personal point of view taken from her personal experience. She wonders first whether bank holidays and holidays in general are really relaxing and are really a holiday anymore now because of what she called the BlackBerry, which is a kind of smartphone that keeps you connected, and you can receive emails, give calls from wherever you are in the world. So she asks first, very directly, the reader if they have enjoyed their bank holiday. And she says that if they have, it's good for them, but they should also remember that some couldn't enjoy their holidays. Why? Because, and this is her point, their husband or their wives was glued to their smartphone. That is to say, they kept checking for their emails, they gave calls, etc., etc. So the topic of this text is working while on holidays. The journalist then says that working on holidays has a really important impact on families. She gives a very personal example, and she says that during the 24 years that she has been going on holidays with her family, the work of her husband has kept interfering a lot. And she gives very specific examples that her children, who are now grown up, associate with holidays. For them, for example, they remember a specific holidays according to the deal the father was working on at the time. For them, the work of the father was more important, it seems, as the holidays themselves. They don't remember the holidays, they remember what deal the father was working on at the time. She gives many examples. Some are comical and some are quite pathetic. She says that, for example, the children remember having to stay silent, not talk at all during a car ride because the father was on a conference call with work. For example, she remembers having to look for places with a good phone network, a good phone signal, and they had to stay there while the husband was placing a call. And she remembers one time having to stand in the rain because this was the only place where they had a connection. She also gives the example of the front passenger seat In the past, she says, all the children fought to be in the front, and now no one wants to go there because it means that you're going to have to be the secretary for the husband if he's driving. You're going to have to answer calls. You're going to have to read out emails. You're going to have to answer, type, and send it to emails, etc., etc. And this can go on for hours, she says. So she points out here that holidays are not relaxing at all for the people who are with the person who keeps working. And she calls this type of person who cannot stop working a workaholic. So she goes back, then she gives a historical perspective, so to speak. She says that before the advent of email and mobile phones, work interfered also with holidays, with family holidays. For example, she said that her husband often gave calls on a landline, so it wasn't a mobile, but it was a landline, and then instead of sending emails, because they didn't exist, he was faxing documents, etc., etc. She wonders then if there is an ideal destination, a very remote destination where you could not get a signal or you could not get a Wi-Fi connection. And she says, well, unfortunately, there's none. Even in Africa, even in the most remote camps, you can still get an internet connection. And she also says, she gives very funny examples when she says that you can talk on the phone thanks to the earpiece, in various situations, while skiing, practicing sports, etc. She says you can't do that while scuba diving, but scuba dives don't last very long, so you can then place a call or send emails afterwards. So, and she also remembers that her husband has broken many phones during the holidays because, for example, he went swimming and he forgot that he had a phone in his pocket, but then he finds a replacement very quickly. So she asks, is there a perfect place for the holiday without technology? And she then concludes by saying that holidays are not a real break anymore, a proper break anymore, and that people, the family as a whole, is often more tired at the end of the holiday than at the beginning, which is very, very worrying. This text raises a number of questions, and I would like to tackle now a few of them. I'm going to start with my opinion, and then I'm going to wonder if it's only due to technology, what the journalist describes here. And I'm going to have a look at how it also works the other way around. So first of all, my opinion. I agree that it could be a problem, but I find these examples a little bit over the top, a little bit exaggerated. I can imagine that her husband has a high responsibility job, and this is not the case for everyone. So not everyone is like that. Not everyone is glued to their smartphone all day long. And also, it's not only due to technology. There are other ways in which work intrudes in personal life, without necessarily the technology. For example, teachers take homework at home, they have to mark papers, they have to prepare their classes, and this also could infringe on the family's time and the family's holiday. Doctors also worry a lot maybe about their patients, and when they come back home, they could think about their day. It could infringe on their personal time as well. And of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a person with a high responsibility job. For example, teenagers often check their Facebook account at the meal table or during the holidays as well. So it's not only a problem for workers; it's a problem. It's a society problem, really. However, this also works the other way around. That means that personal life also intrudes on professional life. If you think of people checking their email at work, for example, checking their Facebook page, answering calls while they work, maybe you've experienced that when going to a shop, for example. I've experienced it many times where the person behind the counter is speaking on the phone with someone who's clearly a family member or a friend, and it's not a job-related call they're making. So it also works the other way around. So indeed, the boundary that she describes has become very shifty and very narrow between personal and professional life. To conclude, I feel it's quite sad that some people cannot enjoy their holidays because of that, especially in the UK or the US, where there are very little paid holidays. there could be a possible solution. For example, have two phones, one for the professional life, one for the personal life, and not take the professional phone while you go on holidays. Change your boss's expectations by telling them, well, I'm on holidays, I won't answer any calls, I won't answer any emails. But habits are hard to get rid of, and habits die hard. And so can mentalities change? Can mentalities on work in general change? Thank you.